Hey guys, Jonah here, back with another beer review, and I was umming and ahhing about whether to do this, but when I say but, it's such a fantastic beer. It's amazing. Oh, what what the hell? What's that? Kill everyone and take their beer? That's not what he really said. Anyway, there's my Corey, and that can mean only one thing. Oh yes, it means not only have I got the blade, it means I'm doing a St. Peter's beer, and I'm doing their winter ale, 6.5%. This is the 2024 version from St. Peter's Brewery in Bungay, over in Suffolk. Like I say, 6.5%, exactly ridiculous Christmas cake aroma with a rich black treacle flavour. And look at the bottle. It's their traditional flask style bottle. And if we look, if it will focus, there we go. We got some wheat in there, no oats. I'm surprised about that. I thought there might be some oats in here. But this is, I have to say, one of my favourite beers. Um, Love the bottle, love the labelling. Although the labelling has changed over time, it's even got a raven on the top there. And I live near Ramsgate, or as it's traditionally the traditional name is Ravensgate, which is why we have lots of ravens and things flying around, which is really cool. And I have even got the St. Peter's long style glass. And if you look at the bottom, it has got the etching of the raven in the bottom of the glass there. So we've got to watch out a little bit for the head on this bad boy. The other thing is, one of my local breweries, Curious Brew, who are in Ashford, they're opposite the Ashford International Station, although the international trains are not stopping at the international station, which is absolutely bizarre. And it has been that way since Brexit, because of ka-ching money. But the reason I say that is because St. Peter's Brewery has actually taken over Curious Brew. So they're running it. St. Peter's, if you're watching this video, please, I'm absolutely begging you, can you get some St. Peter's beers down to Ashford so us in Kent can try some of your fantastic brews on draft? I used to go to Farringdon, which was where your pub used to be, but that's not your pub anymore. And it's like, I'm definitely going to come up to Suffolk. But in the meantime, the only way I can get beers such as this is to get them off the website, and it's not the best way of doing it. I would absolutely love to try this on cask. I have had it on cask, but once again, I would love to try that beer. Fantastic. Right, let's open this bad boy. A little bit of smokage on there. Chuck that down there using the blade. I think that's so cool though. That is brilliant. Oh, the aromas, the dark, the richness. It is fantastic. And 6.5, it's not obscenely strong. There are stronger beers out there, but it's a perfect kind of winter warmer. Some people say that the Christmas ale is better than the winter ale. I am not one of those people. I am much more of a fan of this bad boy, to be honest. Okay, so there we go. Let's bring that back in. Have a lovely, lovely version there. And believe it or not, I think I told you, dear viewer, if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll know this already. But as part of the Black Friday offer, which was a bit mean. They tried to big it up massively, but it was free postage and packaging. So I got 2 crates of this. So 24 beers, and I'm going to work my way through those. And on Untapped, if you look at Untapped and you look at this beer, the Winter Ale, you will see Unclejona is the top reviewer of that beer. It's 30, 38, maybe 39, something like that. And I've got another 24 of these bad boys, so I'm going to be over 50 by the end of the year, beginning of next year. And they do mess around with the recipe a little bit, I think, but the essence is still there. Really dark, treacle, coffee. Oh, not so much the chocolate on the nose, it's more roasty. Um, there is a bit of sweetness there, but it's like the label said, it's kind of like a sweet Christmas cake, not a Christmas pudding, not a clooty dumpling. We're talking Christmas cake with nuts in the top, the almonds, and all that kind of stuff. The frangipani. Is that right? Is that almond? Oh, I don't know. Whatever it is. Anyway, life is good when you've got a St. Peter's Winter Ale in your hand. And let's see what we get. I have had one of these before, but I haven't reviewed it on camera. Oh, so it's the coffee that hits you up front. The sweetness comes through. So it starts off like quite a sweet coffee. Then the treacle hits in, the astringency, the bitterness of the malts. And you also get a bit of kind of dark espresso coffee. So it starts off sweet coffee, but the finish is a darker coffee, gritty leather, cigar. Oh my god! I watched someone else's review of this from last year, and Raggy it was. Raggy, if you're listening to this, my friend, cheers and beers to you. But he said something interesting about pairing something like this with food. I think it was Raggy. Um, it has to be like this is a strong dark beer, so it would have to be something. Yeah, you wouldn't eat this as part of your dinner. You'd have this afterwards. How about a cheese board, like a winter Christmas cheese board with things like Stilton? That would work amazingly well with this. A smoked cheese, like a Bavarian smoked, um, would equally work quite well with a Rauch beer, but that's not what this is about. Pairing this with a mellow cheese like brie, you won't taste it. That's the problem. Um, but if you're putting brie with celery, something spicy, boom, label out. This is the Chamon. Oh, it's so dark. It's wow. I mean, it's dark, but it's creamy, and this is coming from the barley. I was pretty sure that there was some oats in here because maybe in previous generations, previous years, maybe it had a sprinkling of oats. It doesn't in this format this year, 2024. And perhaps I'm getting a bit more roastedness. So they've upped the barley, they've upped the roastedness. They've added a bit of wheat in there, and the wheat gives it that kind of nuttiness, that kind of no, nutty's the wrong word. That cereal thing, that bready thing, that cakey thing. Keep returning to the cake. Um, but it's more than that. It's like a biscuit, like a cracker. And, I'm returning to that analogy. of having cheese on crackers with this beer after your meal. Um, and maybe, hmm, just thinking maybe a cigar. No, I think perhaps if you were having a cigar, it would have to be that would work quite well with this beer because it's another strong taste, a strong flavour. Um, but you wouldn't want a really heavy like a Cohiba cigar because that would fight against some of the flavors. You want a nice mellow one. Um, yeah, something like well, my personal favourite is a Romeo or Julieta. And whether it's a Churchill, and I've had plenty of those in my time, but maybe a Petit Corona or a Cedros 3, something like that, would work quite well with this because it's not as in your face as something a bit more harsh. Why am I talking about cigars in a beer review? I don't know. Maybe some of you like cigars. Um, but yeah, maybe what you could do is pour a glass of this bad boy. Let's turn that round so you can see the St. Peter's logo. There we go. Branded, label out, dear viewer. Um, you could start one of these with your cheese board or your cheese slate or whatever they have these days. Have some cheese, have some crackers, some celery, um, maybe some grapes just to wash your palate a little bit. When you get down to here and your cheese is finished, that's when you light your cigar and continue the evening sitting on a Chesterfield leather sofa. I wish I had a leather sofa. Used to have a leather chair, but not a leather sofa. In fact, this is suede. This kind of thing. I don't know if it's real suede or not, but anyway, there's something about leather. There's something about cigars, beers like this, cheese after dinner. Um, very manly. If that makes sense. And I'm not saying that women you cannot enjoy this kind of thing, but it's those kind of rough around the edges type things um, that I get from this beer. And it reminds me, I mean, when I used to live in Molesey, East Molesey, it was, which is near Henry VIII's castle, Hampton Court. It's a palace. Um, we used to live across the river from there, and I remember that's where I first kind of started drinking this beer. And yeah, what I used to do is have two in a row, two back to back. So essentially 2 pints of 6% beer, knock knock, really, really good. The other one I used to have was the Hepworth Noel, the Christmas beer from Hepworth, which is another fantastic winter warmer. And I think that was 6 or 7%. But you have two of those in a row, and you know about it. As soon as you hit three, you're getting into silly territory. I guess it's like drinking two or three deeper beers on the bounce. So, or teepers, triples. You know, you're drinking 6.5, 7% beers, but you have two or three in a row. You know about it. It gets really, really silly after that. The other thing is because this beer is hard to get hold of outside Suffolk. Um, if you can get this in your local pub on cask, my God, you have got a really, really good beer. Um, and like I say, they used to do it in Farringdon when I went up to London because I used to work there. I used to get the 6:30 train, well, 6:20 train in the morning to get up to London. And by about 3 or 4 o'clock, I was finished my work, absolutely knackered. If I was anywhere near Farringdon, and you can get to Farringdon from St Pancras, which is our local, our central hub for London, for Kent. Um, yeah, the amount of times I went in there, and you could buy the beer kits as well, which was crazy. I've never seen the winter ale as part of the Monktons St Peter's beer kits. Here's another thing for you. If anyone from St Peter's is still watching, please get in contact. I've got so many ideas for you. But having the winter ale available, maybe only in wintertime as a seasonal beer kit, oh my God, that would be fantastic. Not many people do winter warmers. I mean, people do Santa's Revenge, or no, Rudolph's Revenge, or Santa's Sack, or these kind of weird beer kits. But St Peter's don't mess around with their beer kits. I've done the honey porter as well. My God, that is a fantastic beer. I've had that in all the different versions. I've had that in a kit. What's it called? A keg, a mini keg. I've had it on cask and I've had it in bottles. Jesus Christ, that is another fantastic beer. But I very much suspect that this one might be, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, dear viewer, this is the best beer I think that St. Peter's make. Absolute fantastic beer. And there we go. There is St. Peter's Winter Ale. Let me get the bottle out. 2024 version. There we go. Christmas cake aromas with a rich black treacle taste. 6.5%. Life is good when you're drinking one of these. Absolutely brilliant. Christmas is on the cards. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of each other. Please, please, St. Peter's, if you're listening to this, get in contact with me, because I really, really want to make St. Peter's beers available in Kent uh, through Curious Brew. Definitely a good idea. And I know the BLO for Curious Brew through camera, so it can be done. Please get in contact. Anyway, I'm going to return, and hopefully I won't be drinking a 6.5% beer, because things do get a little bit silly once I drink the stronger beers. I mean, it's not that strong, but it's just waxing lyrical. But anyway, that review, whatever it may be, and don't forget there's Advent beers as well. They're all going to be coming up on Unclejona's beer channel, and they're going to be coming up real soon.